Welcome to Divisionalysis, I'm Fog. Today I'm going to give you some new stats, yep, that's right, new stats after 4 years in this game, and correct some misleading information. This is not the reload time of your weapon. Not only that, it's only half the story. Let's go. Now, if you haven't seen my last two videos on reload times, then some of this will obviously be new to you, but in those two videos I showed that there was a difference between reloading from empty and then reloading from not empty, or what I've termed as being a TAC reload, or a tactical reload. I had to make the second video just to prove the fact because another content creator ran their mouth basically calling me a liar. But unlike other content creators who run their mouth at the drop of a hat without any understanding, I actually do my research. And what you're seeing in the background is days worth of research where I have taken every single weapon in the assault rifle family and recorded multiple instances of reloading from empty and then followed by multiple instances of reloading from not empty. What I've done then is I have synced a timer that will correspond with the initiation of this reload icon that appears. So your reticle will disappear after you fire your final shot, essentially signaling that you are entering the reload mechanic, and from that instance the timer is set. I then recorded the time corresponding to the frame where a bullet has left the barrel of that weapon. So it is from the last bullet and you enter firing and then entering the reload mechanic until the first bullet is released following reloading that weapon. And the times that I'm going to show you for each of the weapons is accurate to within 2/100ths of a second because we're synced to frames, and I have broken this down over many hours, frame by frame, confirming results for each of the weapons. And the results for reload times, at least measured in this particular manner, is considerably different to what you see advertised on the stat sheet. Not only that, I have confirmed again that there is a difference in the time between reloading from empty and reloading in a tactical fashion, not from empty. The difference between the reloading from empty and reloading from not empty varies from weapon to weapon. And that has an impact on a weapon's ability to either sustain damage or to continue burst firing damage. What this means is that I'm going to go back to my assault rifles ranked video and update it with these new reload times for both sustained damage and also for burst firing damage. I'm also going to add in the Division 2's latest assault rifle entry, being the St. Elmo's. But before I produce that assault rifles ranked video, I'm going to have to do a deep dive into the St. Elmo's engine. I've already started that, and the results for that weapon are very surprising. So without further ado, here are accurate reload times for every single assault rifle. First, let's have a look at the advertised reload speeds. We've got the Bighorn capacitor and the St. Elmo's, all with the fastest advertised speed of 1.8 seconds. The next group comes in at 2.1 seconds, 2.2 seconds, then we have 2.3 seconds, 2.4 seconds, and bringing up the rear, the AK and the SIG with 2.5 seconds. Now at this point it's probably important to note that those figures that you're seeing aren't whole numbers, and that's in large part because we're getting percentage discounts at certain points, and with the exotics that comes in the form of attachments that are permanently on there, weapon handling or otherwise. And if we compare the weapons here, for instance, St. Elmo's with 1.8 seconds here, and compare it to the capacitor, which also has a time of 1.8 seconds, you see that the difference is 0.0 seconds. But if I compare that to the Bighorn, which also has a 1.8 seconds, somehow this is negative 0.1 seconds. So there's clearly some rounding that occurs when it comes to reload times. Now, every one of the weapons that had an attachment possible, it was a sturdy magazine, whether that's 5.56 or 7.62, depending on the weapon. But in every case, they are also subject to a negative 10% reload speed. So again, there could be rounding elements involved there too. Now, the order in which the game actually applies these is also important, because you're getting a plus 10% from your Keener's watch. So if we were to do that for a simple 2.5 second reload, and we have the plus 10% from Keener's watch and minus 10% from the magazine, or the other way around, whichever way you want to look at it, they cancel each other out, and that gives us a reload speed of 2.5 seconds. Alternatively, if the game codes those benefits or bonuses separately, you may end up with a different result. 2.5 seconds plus 10% gives us 2.75 seconds. Now, if we take 10% from 2.75, we take off 0.275 this time, and now we get a figure of 2.475 seconds, which on the stat sheet would still look like 2.5 seconds as it's rounded up, but there is a difference. But what matters is what it actually looks like in actual gameplay. So, when actually measured, reloading from empty, the Bighorn comes in at number 1 at 1.475 seconds. The capacitor and the St. Elmo's are tied at second place at 1.5 seconds. Eagle Bearer bringing in fourth with a bit of a jump to 1.625. Chameleon, PDR, P4. 3 weapons tied at 8th. MK16, M4, the FAMAS at number 13 at 1.9 seconds for reloading from empty. Carbine and the TKB tied at 14th. 3 weapons, the ACR, the G36 and the Honey Badger near the bottom. FAL and the SIG bringing in second last, and bringing in the rear at the only weapon to exceed 2 seconds for reloading from empty being the AK. Then we have reloading from not empty, or TAC reloading, and bringing in the number 1 position, the capacitor, 1.35 seconds. Coming in at number 2, tied, the Bighorn and St. Elmo's at 1.4 seconds. Then we have the AUG, surprisingly, at 1.45 seconds. The F2000. The FAMAS brings itself up the list for TAC reloading, which is good for it, considering it is a burst fire weapon. Eagle Bearer 1.55. Chameleon, CTAR and PDR. Falling down the list, the AK jumps up 1.725 seconds, tied with the Carbine. And the bottom, or the second bottom, the Honey Badger and the M4. Very accurate weapons, but for burst firing, one of the slowest reload times possible. And the very bottom position is held by the SIG at 1.8 seconds. As you can see, quite a difference from the advertised reload speeds to completely different speeds depending on how you are reloading, and then the variance between the two changing depending on the weapon. Now this is fairly messy. Now, although you're going to be TAC reloading a lot more often than you are reloading from empty, just to consolidate the list, I averaged both columns, and here we have the average times for the bottoms, with no weapon exceeding 2 seconds for reload time as an average. And the very top occupied and dominated by the exotics. Capacitor, Bighorn, St. Elmo's, and then a bit of a jump to the Eagle Bearer before we have the rest of the field. But there you have it. 4 years into the game, brand new stats that you'll have never seen before, and will make a difference when it comes to their rankings. But before I get into that video and do all the massive amount of math that goes into one of those videos, I have to do the deep dive into the St. Elmo's. And as I said, I've already started it. Some of it won't come as a surprise, but what I'm going to say about it will probably offend some people. But for those, you're going to have to wait, so subscribe to get those and notify if you want to see the updates when they come out. If you liked the video and appreciate the time and effort to bring you these new stats, then hit the like button. But otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Fog out.